Oh my God. Casual. Like it's nothing.
No, he hit 80.
What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James. We in these streets. We in these Joe Milton streets. Feel me? We in these streets. Another day in paradise up in here. And waiting for my coworker to get in here so start knocking this stuff out for me. But just want to jump on here right quick. If you haven't heard the news, Dallas acquired a backup quarterback today in Joe Milton from the New England Patriots. This is a guy that I feel like the Cowboys had their eye on in the draft. He had the knee injury, but I think this is a situation where they were looking at a Joe Milton from afar, and I think they kept their eyes on him and was wanting to see what happened. Obviously, we just see what happened with this Trey Lance thing. It was a bad move. They gave up a 4th round pick for somebody who, in my opinion, they should have never did it the way they did it, because when they picked him up, it made it look like you were picking him up to take over a Dak Prescott. And the way y'all were putting it in the media, I just didn't like the spin of how they did Trey Lance. It felt like he was a negotiating piece. It felt like he was a pawn in the game to play some chicken back and forth with that contract. And you didn't even really give him a chance for real. And then when he did, has some athleticism, has the arm, but you saw, without proper training, without being on the field, you saw the product. You know what I mean? And they were going with Cooper Rush because they didn't even believe in him. You picked him, but you never believed in him because you kept him on the bench. So why'd you spend a 4th round pick if you never really believed in him? Because you never signed him to no extension. You never really got him no time on the field except the preseason. And you had a whole year to even be able to look at him when you had blowout victories. So I just felt like that was a whole waste. Now we did the final word Tuesday, and we were talking about, boss had brought up re-signing him. I was with it because you could get him for the cheap and he was going to be in the CFL. I want somebody athletic and with an arm, and somebody can possibly, see if he could take the reins over eventually. Not saying Trey Lance would, but he gave a better option, especially with Cooper Rush finally being gone. Salutes to Cooper Rush for everything he did in Dallas, but he never excited me. I was never on no Cooper Rush ever. I'm glad he had a winning record. He won games in Dallas, but it was more of them dumbing down the offense, making everything super basic for him, because if they didn't, it would have been bad. And we've seen them games when they did try to throw every time. You saw what happened. Wasn't good for Dallas. So Cooper Rush has moved on. I'm not saying bad things about him, but I'm just glad he's gone. So that this chapter is gone. So you don't have to always go, whoa, who's Cooper Rush? And now Cowboys picked up Joe Milton from the New England Patriots. Cowboys give up a 5th rounder in exchange for Joe Milton and a 7th rounder. I like that move for the simple fact that you have 3 5th rounders, so you still have 2. My main thing is I'm still with trade back if you don't get them guys that you want. McMillan, if you're still wanting him. Golden, if he's there too. But if those guys and options aren't there, trade back. But this is about Joe Milton. We saw what he did the last game against Buffalo, like 22 of 29, 239, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, 6'5", 240, athletic as hell, can throw on the run, cannon arm, hella athletic, did a backflip, can throw like 70, 80 yards standing still. The man has a cannon. Obviously, he is a diamond in the rough, in my opinion. He is very raw. Even if you saw that game last year, some of the passes he was completing, those was whoa, one of those, you improvise, but you probably don't want to do that again in another game. So there's a lot of rawness to his game, but the upside is tremendous. And I feel like you actually have somebody who you can really train to be somebody of the future. And I think that's what I like about it, is it's not just somebody's here who you're like, oh, he's just going to be here a year or two. This is a guy who actually can develop and actually can take the reins over possibly for Dak Prescott whenever his time is up. So we'll see about that. But as I said before, has a lot of good traits. And like I said, upside is huge. And now you've already address that backup quarterback situation, so you don't have to go in the draft with some rookie or like Quinn Ewers. That was disgusting. I didn't even want that even in the building. He's not a NFL quarterback to me, so I didn't even want them thinking about taking like something like that. So to me, this is more of a better move. If I was given a grade, I would give this an A, straight up, because you got somebody who's young, big, strong, fast, has all the traits you want, and like I said, you don't have to press him in right now, and you got him for the cheap. He's still on a rookie deal, so he can sit there a couple years. He's cheap as hell. So I thought it was a great move by the front office. Like I said, I don't hate. If they do something good, I'm gonna congratulate. I don't hate, but if they doing goofy stuff, I'm saying it too. At least on my channel, I'm calling that out. So love the move. A grade for me. Y'all tell me what y'all think the grade is. What y'all grade? What grade would y'all give this for the Dallas Cowboys? But I just got off the phone with Boss Cowboys. We just talked for about 15, 20 minutes. And, you still got to continue to help your coach. That's great that you got the backup and you don't have to go in the draft, going in there and feeling like you got to draft a quarterback and using an unnecessary pick for a quarterback who is never seen an NFL field. At least this guy has been in the league a couple of years and seen NFL. Those guys don't, and it'd be a waste of a pick. So I still feel like you need to gather picks. You still need this receiver. You still need that running back. So, hey, as I said before, we in these work streaks. Go ahead and give a grade because we busy as hell up at work. Go ahead and give this a grade. What do y'all think about this trade with Joe Milton? Cowboys give up a 5th-round pick. They get Joe Milton in a 7th-rounder, 22 of 29, 241 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, hella athletic. What do y'all think? What grade would y'all give it? How do y'all feel? But as I said before, Cowboys, don't be done because you need a receiver. Don't just rely on that rookie. Get that vet and possibly add him. Just all I'm going to just say is like this when I end. I did this show with Mike Fisher, and when I did this show with Mike Fisher, this is the thing he told me at the end. For anybody that's frustrated with these Cowboys people, we already know how they act and what they do. But here's the biggest thing. Mike Fisher said Cowboys ain't changing. They're going to be about marketing. They're going to be about corporate, and that's what it is, and they ain't going to never change from that. What people need to realize, the players and the coaches are going to have to overcome the Joneses, and that's what we've been saying forever. They ain't changing. They ain't acting any different. They ain't doing anything different. They just doing it at a faster rate. But the Joneses are still saying the same. So really, these Cowboys, that's what I said when I did that show with Mike White. I said that's why that locker room got to be tight. Them coaches got to be on point. Them players got to be on point. Y'all got to band together because you're going to have to overcome that front office because they ain't changing from what they doing. They ain't doing nothing different that they've been doing. They're just doing it a little bit earlier. You still see Jerry talking the same way with the contracts. It's the same thing. Ain't nothing really changing from it. But you just hope that the players can rally and the coach can rally and rise above it. Schottenheimer, I hope that dark side don't get you because I like you. So we'll see what happens. But let me know your grade on this trade. I like it. I give it an A. And we'll see. Big Game James. I'm out.